Well, that was pretty painless, even though I have to have it taken from my hand. And by the way, that was quite funny, because the techies, put the piece of cotton wool on my hand and pressed hard and said, keep the pressure on there for a minute, and I did. And then I was doing that, and I looked down and I noticed there was blood seeping out of my body from a different place. So I decided that I would ignore where he had told me to put the pressure and put it on the place that was leaking. But you see, again, that's what I keep trying to say to people. Find reasons to be amused, right? It's not the end of the world. And I was very grateful. This guy knew what he was doing. He did a good job. And so I give myself an adult point. I do that a lot these days. I did not particularly want to come for a blood test. It's not my idea of an erotic experience, let's be honest. But it's like it needs to be done. And I know that what follows this test is that they will get the results from this, which probably won't take very long, and then I'll have to go back to the doctor, and then they'll send me to see a dietitian, I would think. Or maybe I don't even have to go back to the doctor. Maybe they just line me up with a dietitian. And then the dietitian's going to tell me all the things I need to know, which I probably know most of already, which is why I did this, immediately. I even though I was had a little bit of a pass given to me by the doctor, be careful but enjoy Christmas, I decided I'm going to do the best I can right immediately, because this is going to be a big shock for me to totally adjust my eating habits. But and that word that we whisper, exercise. Yeah, buddy. Anyway, sorry. They're out today. Must be a new moon or something. So then that guy just went straight through a red light, by the way. That's why I was a little shocked. So the exercise thing, I really want to thank those of you who have joined me in my trick. I've decided to make exercise fun. And I've set myself a goal at the moment. This week my goal is to do at least 5,000 steps a day. I'm heading towards 10,000 a day, but this week it's 5,000. And what I realize is that this is going to be more difficult now that the bad weather's here coming in, the really cold, icy sort of weather, because I don't necessarily want to be out walking on my own with the potential of slipping and falling. And so I've got to be a little bit careful of that. But what I decided was I've got a really big staircase that is very good for me. I've got a lot of downsizing to do, and going up and down stairs will be just as much, if not better, exercise than just walking on the flat. And so what I do is each time I have a little burst of, okay, fine, I'm going to do some exercise now, what I do is I turn my watch on and then start taking things down and bringing things back up that need to get sorted, and doing that sort of stuff. And it's amazing, actually. It's working very well for me. So far, I've managed to walk quite a long way. For those of you who don't know, we've got this virtual walking program going. I'm walking across British Columbia in Canada, and Lauren is walking down Tasmania. That's the little island south of the main island of Australia. Tasmania is part of Australia, but it's a little island just at the bottom right-hand corner as you look at it. And then she's wheeling her way. Well, she will be as soon as she gets out of hospital, but I've told her to just plug in 2,000 steps a day, because I know she would wheel at least that if she were at home, and I don't want her to feel discouraged just because she ended up in hospital. And so then there's dear Jody sitting in New Hampshire, who said, well, I can't wheel and I can't walk, but I want to support you. So we got her doing arm rolls, and we did all the math. So very exciting. So what I've done, and that's what I wanted to make sure you all knew, I did put a note on Facebook for you. What I've done is I've opened up 2 new pages on the website DearMamaSal.com, and one of them is a resource page, because I noticed that I keep talking about certain books, or I will quote a poem or whatever it is, and I'm thinking, some of you probably would like a place where you can, Sal was talking about that a while ago. What was that book she was talking about? And so what I've started to do is to just start up a resource page where when you feel like that, you can go there anytime and have a look at it. The other thing I've done is to put up a virtual walking page, and what I'm doing is anybody that becomes part of our group that wants to join in, just let me have the link to your virtual mission, as it's called. It's called My Virtual Mission. If you let me have the link to that and give me the written okay that I can post that, then I will add you to the page so that people can check to see how you're doing. And so you can support whoever you want to support, because we all need it, believe you me. So it's been a fun day, and now I'm going to go back and see what else I can do. I've had about 3 hours sleep, 3.5 maybe. I got overstimulated with all the broadcasts recently, and that gave, what happened was my mind started to fire up, and when my mind starts to fire up, unfortunately, it does a lot of work. And when it does a lot of work, I've got to take a lot of notes, because it's giving me information that I need to do the work that I'm thinking about. And so I literally find it difficult at the moment to desensitize my mind, de-stimulate it. And what I ended up doing was I tried to go to sleep without any noise whatsoever, in the hope that maybe that would work for a change. And of course it didn't. It was too quiet. So then I put on CNN. That normally sends me to sleep in a hurry, because I just turn the volume down and so I can only just hear it if it's really important. And then I also put on meditation music, and eventually around about 5:30, 6 o'clock I fell asleep. Insane. No, not insane, just it was what it was. And I realize it's already Wednesday, and so I need to do some catch-up sleep before I get to Friday, where I do another double header. But I can do that. So I'm going to probably fit in a cat nap, probably somewhere between, I think, probably about 6 and 10. I need to make sure I get some food in me, because the other thing I had to do was I had to keep getting up and getting something to eat, because one of the things you learn is you need to eat on a regular basis while you're awake. And what was happening was I kept going, okay, fine, it's time for me to eat something, because I could feel it in my body. And so you get up and grab something, but you don't want to grab anything too much, because you don't want to cause a spike. So something small. And then, of course, while you're waiting and eating that, you're busy looking at your computer and re-stimulating yourself. Talk about a catch-22. Very difficult. But here I am. Alright, everybody, so serious adult point for getting the blood test done. Look after yourselves, everybody. Remember to look after one another, but as I'm doing, really this year, I'm really looking after myself a whole lot better, even if I haven't been getting the sleep that I want. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that there's licorice all sorts and things. Yeah, they did put on a couple of pounds. The good news is I have lost 1.5 of those pounds I put on, and so I'm heading back in the right direction again. Bye-bye for now.